Hey everybody, welcome to another action-packed, exciting episode of Scotty's Record Shop. On this particular episode, we're going to do part two of Bob Dylan's discography. The first one 3 weeks ago was his 60s albums. And today we're going to tackle his 70s output. Uh, Trying to think if there's any real hot takes in this, people who would get pissed off. There's a couple things I think, because there are albums in this stack that you either love it or you hate it. It's kind of weird, you know. Um, so let's get into it, okay? Shall we? All right. He put out what 10 albums, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 albums. Uh, First one was Self Portrait in 1970, and his last one was Slow Train coming in 1979. Alrighty, but smack dab, well, not smack dab, but 1973 at the bottom of the pile for, I think, pretty much everybody. I mean, a lot of people don't like the Christmas album that came out, in the 2000s. Other than that, I think this one kind of is equally disliked. Dylan doesn't like this album. This album actually, theoretically, is not available in the United States. My copy actually is from Japan. I actually uh, ordered it not too long ago, and it took forever to get here. But not a great album, but I'm a completist and I wanted it. Uh, I'm talking about the album simply titled Dylan, 1973. Dylan had nothing to do with this. These were outtakes from the New Morning and Self Portrait sessions that weren't used, and they shouldn't have been. There's a couple of really good songs on here, but Dylan, the only way you're going to find this is either through getting it used through somebody in Japan, or the massive Bob Dylan. I call it the Red Box, but the Complete Albums Volume One. I think that was the only way that this was issued in the United States on CD. And that expansive red box of Dylan is going for three, four, $500 now, and I've got everything. So I just had to hunt this one down, and you can find it out there. 30, $40 maybe. Um, but anyway, this is just, he disowned it. I get it. He was the reason that this was put out too was Columbia was pissed off because he left Columbia for a short time over contract disputes and promotion of the album that's coming up next. So Columbia said, "Well, we're gonna make some money off you, even though you left." And bada bing, and it did sell, not very, but ugh. Number 10 for the 70s, Dylan by Bob Dylan. Number 9, this some people really like this album. I am not a soundtrack person. I don't like kind of incidental music and stuff, but not that it's bad in itself, but I'm talking about Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, 1973. Um, I mean, this has got Knocking on Heaven's Door on it, which is honestly, I'm really sick of that song. I mean, I get that it's a great song. I get it's one of his most popular songs, but it is still being played. If out of his 70s stuff, out of all of his stuff, honestly, on classic rock radio, "Knocking on Heaven's Door" is the song that gets played all the freaking time. And if I never hear it again, I'm I'm good with that. But I mean, the instrumental stuff on here, the incidental stuff that came along with the movie's okay. It's just it's just it's movie soundtrack stuff, so it doesn't really do it for me. But if you really dig it, I'm happy for you. At number 9, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. By the way, Dylan was in this movie, and I've not seen this movie. No, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I've heard it's pretty good. All right, this one is the one where everybody goes, "I hate it," or they're like, "It's a freaking masterpiece. What are you talking about?" Self Portrait. The story behind this, supposedly, Dylan has a tendency of wanting to throw people off the trail. when he's uncomfortable or something. Like in '66, everybody was praising him. He was the new messiah of, you know, of music. He was the prophet, and he was like, I'm just a guy. So he had his little accident in '66 and disappeared for a couple of years, and came back a totally different person, totally different musically too. Well, after Nashville Skyline, I guess he decided to do it again, and he said that he purposely made a really shitty album, a double shitty album. And if you listen to, let me see if I've got it up here. Where is it? Aha. If you got this, I don't usually talk about the bootleg series stuff, at least not yet. But another self-portrait. This is a collection of. This is a 2 CD set, by the way, not the 4. This has outtakes from New Morning and Self-Portrait, and this is infinitely better. It's crazy, but the stuff that was left off the album is so much better than the stuff that was put on the album. So I am inclined to think that, you know, because Dylan will say things, and it's like, is he really telling the truth? Is he putting us on? Because you never really know with him. I think he was telling the truth on this one. There are some good stuff, good things on here. There's some live stuff from the Isle of Wights. And by the way, if you get the 4 CD set of this, you'll have the entire Isle of Wight show, which she has the band backing him up on. I like it. Some people are like, it's kind of garbage, but I kind of like it. There are some other things on here that are okay, but I've tried, and I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think Dylan purposely was trying to screw things up, and he did. There's a famous review of this, and I know most of you who know Dylan really well, you know about this, but people who don't know Dylan really well, the opening line, it was like in Rolling Stone or something like that. The opening line to the review was, "What is this shit?" You know you're not doing good when a reviewer starts off his critique of your work asking the question, "What is this shit?" Literally. So at number 8, for me personally, Self-Portrait. Number 7 is interesting because it's going to show up. I'm going to be doing not a review, but a ranking of the band, their albums really soon, maybe even next week. And this is an album that is going to appear in both because it's under the name Bob Dylan, but there are songs on here that aren't even Bob Dylan had nothing to do with. It's the band. Talking about the basement tapes. The basement tapes were basically, the short version of this was after Dylan had his accident. He retreated to upstate New York. He started hanging out with the guys in the band. I mean, they were his backing band anyway, through the '66 tour. But they started hanging out in a place called Big Pink, which is a house in upstate New York where the band actually recorded their first album and got the name for their first album. Big Pink, music from Big Pink. These are just supposed to be like demos and stuff. And it's really interesting. Dylan writes a lot of the stuff on here, but the reason that this is kind of weird is because Robbie Robinson in 1975 was like, well, you know, this thing has been bootlegged so many times. It's actually the technically really the first widely available popular bootleg was stuff from this. It was called The Great White Wonder, I believe it was called, 1969. It was bootlegged, and Robbie Robinson was like, you know, everybody's making money off this stuff, let's put this out. And the band at the time wasn't doing that good, and they probably could use the cash, so Dylan was cool with it. So the band recorded a few extra songs for this and cleaned some stuff up on here, and they put this out. And some people really, really love this. I like it. I just like other stuff ahead of this a lot more, and it's raw. The Bootleg series released like 8 CDs or some craziness, 6 CDs or whatever. The entire basement tapes, and it's like that's a little too much for me. This is good, but yeah, it's kind of weird because it's going to show up on two rankings. I can't think of another album that is going to do that. I mean, maybe there are albums where two people, let's say like the Temptations and the Supremes, they did albums together and stuff like that. But yeah, number 6, I believe. One, two, something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is 7. Okay, the Basement Tapes. Bob Dylan and the band. Okay. Speaking of the band, 1974, Planet Waves. This was the album Dylan left and went to Asylum Records for. He was on there for a couple of albums. Um, Forever Young is a great song. The slow version. There's 2 versions on here. I don't know why they did both, but the slow version is really beautiful. On a Night Like This is great. That was a single. This album went to number 1, and it's not bad. It's what the band and Dylan together sounded like in 1974, and again, it's not bad. It's just there are things I like better than this. Like I said, I don't know why they did 2 versions of Forever Young, but the fast version, it doesn't work for me personally. But like half of this album is really, really amazing, and the other half is just so-so for me personally. Some people put this a little higher, and I get it. I do get it. So anyway, number 6, Planet Waves. Number 5, after pissing everybody off in 1970, I think Dylan decided to come back on track, and he came out with New Morning. This is a really good album. This has gone up and it's gone down a little bit. It's kind of how it is, but it's in the middle, and it's a good album. The notable, don't know why I can't talk today. The notable track on this is "If Not For You," which Dylan did. Dylan got it from, Dylan did. George Harrison got it from Dylan and put it on All Things Must Pass. But the big hit of it was by Olivia Newton-John. I think she did a very sweet version of it in 1971. But Dylan's doing it here. There's a lot of good stuff on here. This is a weird album because Dylan was happy. He was living in upstate New York. He was happily married. He had the kids. He had no desire to really tour. He just wanted to be a family man. And this album kind of reflects that. It's not as dark and wordy as a lot of his other work. So some people don't like that. They don't like that aspect of this, the peacefulness of it. And I enjoyed it. You know, the guy hasn't had a very peaceful life. And at this point in his life, he was at peace. He seemed to be. So, and it's a good album. New Morning at number 5. Some people are going to go, why the hell did you put this above New Morning? I like this album. This is a divisive album. Street Legal, 1978. This is where Dylan kind of was. This is like full-blown instrumentation, background singers. It really laid the catalyst for his 1978 tour. Some people refer to it as the Elvis tour, where it's like, it was too clean, it was too polished, it was not Dylan. And if you want to hear what that tour was like, then pick up Live at Budokan. It's it's all right, but it's not raw and spontaneous like Dylan has a tendency of being. Yes, everything's well played and it's very polished, but it just doesn't feel like Dylan. But this stuff really is great. for me. I know a lot of people. I've seen a review where somebody actually ranked this at number one. All the Dylan albums. I'm like, I won't go that far. Not even close. But this is a good album. 1978, Street Legal at number 4. 1976, Desire. This has the song that most people would know of this is Hurricane. Um, the thing about this is once you hear especially the tour that led up to this, the 1975 tour, and you hear some of the songs played live, this seems really weak. They're good songs, but when they played them live, they're the definitive versions of a lot of these songs. Isis, Another Cup of Coffee. When they played that stuff live, it just, it's better. It's still a great album though, and a lot of people put this down because of the song Joey, which is kind of a tribute. Not kind of, it is a tribute to a mobster. A guy who is a horrible human being, and there are people that like, I can't go for that. I don't. It's actually not a bad song if you separate what it is about, and you don't ask yourself why the hell would Dylan write a song honoring somebody like that. Ugh. But it's an okay song. Hurricane, of course, got all the attention as it should. Hurricane Carter was a prize fighter who was wrongly accused of a triple murder and jailed for many, many years. And Dylan was one of the people that kind of led the charge to get him released because he was innocent. He was innocent. And the only reason they nailed him was because he was a black guy in a white community. And believe me, listen to the song Hurricane. Dylan makes that very clear in this song. But anyway, a good album. I mean, obviously it's at number 3 for the 70s for me. But if you really want to hear this stuff, pick up the Bootleg Series, Volume 3 or 4. The Rolling Thunder Review. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 or 5. It's one of those. It's not 3. It can't be 3. 4 or 5. Kicks ass. Great, great stuff. But anyway, at number 3, Bob Dylan and Desire. A lot of people who don't like gospel music like this album. It's at number 2 for me. Slow Train Coming, 1979. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of the trilogy of gospel albums. We'll deal with the other 2 when we get into the 80s. I like this stuff simply because it's good, irregardless of what the subject matter is. But obviously, I can relate to the subject matter, so I don't have a problem with him singing about Jesus and about stuff like that. I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't offend me at all. But boy, he's got Mark Knopfler on this. He just gets a hot friggin' band. Great late 70s, definite return to form. People that didn't like Street Legal love this album. I mean, it's kind of weird, and it's funny watching people who make videos about ranking these things, and they're like, I love this album. Let me make it really, really clear, though. I want nothing to do with Jesus Christ. No. It's funny, because it's almost like they're afraid or something that if they like this, they're going to turn into a Christian or something. It's like, whatever. It's good, and I agree with all of you for that. It's good, and it's at number 2 because it is good. Slow Train Coming, 1979. Number 1. I think this is everybody's number 1 for the 70s, as should be. And in a lot of cases, it's people's number 1 album, period, for Dylan. 1975, Blood on the Tracks. This is just a fantastic album. It I don't know if this is my favorite Dylan album. It's in the top 3 or 4, for sure. I love this album, and it's kind of weird. I started really getting into Dylan again. I mean, I've always kind of liked Dylan. I explained that in the first video, but last year, a year and a half, I've really gotten into Dylan more. And it's, of course, during a time where I was going through a really bad you know, relationship of 25 years going down the toilet. So, and this is his kind of, people refer to this as the breakup album, when he was breaking up with his wife, and many different emotions. Not every song on here is about relationships and breakups, but a lot of this is. And if you've, like, we've all been dumped, probably. And if we haven't, we're probably going to. You're probably going to eventually. So you'll be able to relate to this album for sure. Uh, I mean, the many different emotions. You're gonna make me lonely when you go. God, idiot wind. Have you ever been pissed off? You know, trust me. When you go through a, you know, I mean, not to get too personal, but after 25 years of being with the same person and then having them do what they did to me, there were a lot of emotions: sorrow, regret, anger. Idiot Wind is a effing angry song, man. Angry. He was so pissed off. You're so stupid, babe. I'm surprised you remember to breathe. Pissed off. And I remember listening to this for the first time in a while, like a year or so ago, when all this stuff was still really, and me personally, really fresh and really raw. And I went through like 20 different emotions listening to this. It was like, I went from being really sad and really, and then Idiot Wind came on, and it's like, that bitch, oh, I was so angry. It was great. It was very cathartic. You know, it was healing in a way. But I love this album even more now. I really do. It's my favorite album from the 70's by Bob. One of my favorite albums of Bob of all time. Blood on the Tracks. Alrighty? Let me know what you think. A lot of you are going to rank this at number one. I know that, and that's fine. I've been kind of not good about getting to your comments lately, and I do apologize. I've taken on a new job. I've taken on a lot of things. None of them bad, but taken on a lot of things, and my life is getting very full, very quick. And it's just after I get out of work, and I want to eat and go to bed, basically. But I'm going to try to get to your comments. So please feel free to comment, even if not for just me, but for other viewers to see what are your favorite albums from Dylan in the 1970s. Are you a big fan of Self Portrait? I mean, do you like this album? Probably not, but maybe you do. By the way, this is all covers. These were all covers. Ugh. Whatever. Alrighty, gang. Let me know what you think. Please remember to like and subscribe. I really, truly appreciate it because, like I said, I'm trying to get this channel to grow a little bit more. I'm doing this for fun. I'm not doing it for money or fame. I'm sure hell not doing it for fame or money because I ain't getting any. But that's okay. I'm doing it out of fun, and I hope you enjoy them. And you know, give me a thumbs up. Give us a like. Subscribe. Let us know what you think down in the comments. And until next time, peace and love.